Hello, my name is Otto Gomez, and this is my video presentation explaining my presentation activity. So for the assignment, I wanted to ask the question, why did people join the Texas Revolution? This covers the social studies text for grade 7 of Texas history and the English language arts text for students to read and analyze informational text. So for the historical topic, is for students to investigate the Texas Revolution and analyze three primary sources related to the siege of the Alamo and the movement for the Texas independence. And the lesson is going to focus on how people use words, symbols, and how public messages were disseminated for a cause back in that era. So the essential question is going to be, how did the primary sources persuade people to support Texas independence during the Texas Revolution? So the overall purpose of the activity is to help students develop their critical thinking and analytical skills to move beyond memorizing just facts and events of the textbooks regarding Texas Revolution, analyzing those primary sources, evaluating how the historical figures communicated urgency during those times. There wasn't social media. It wasn't like a tweet for a call to arms, and how they use language and verbiage to help persuade others to come into their cause. The assignment will require each of the primary sources to be printed out and handed to the students. And encouragement has to be given to the students to use those printouts, mark on them, highlight keywords, make notes on the side. As they're reading, use that printout to help take notes, maybe some word bubbles, maybe some thoughts to help them with analytical and critical thinking. So the primary sources are going to be the letter that Colonel Travis wrote titled Death or Victory in February 24th, 1836. There's a link to that on the slide. Also, the Texas Declaration of Independence from March 2nd, 1836. There's also a link to that slide. And then the Texas and Texas Register publication of a second letter by Colonel Travis to a friend, which was dated March 3rd, but it wasn't published till March 24th. So the student inquiry questions are going to be asking them, okay, who created the source and what was the intended audience? Look for any keywords or phrases that you use to persuade readers. And then what emotions or ideas does each source appeal to? What problems or concerns are described in the source? How did the source support or complicate what we know about the Texas Revolution? And what source would have been most persuasive to people living in 1836 and why? The connection would be for the students to help identify those loaded words, loaded language, identify the author's purpose, their intended audience, the tone they were portraying, and the claims of each source. They'll also use the text evidence to make inferences about the historical content and persuasion. So the writing activity that goes with this will be a one paragraph historical argument responding to the question, which would be, which of these primary sources would have been most effective in persuading people to support Texas independence? The directions will be for the paragraph to include the clear claim, two pieces of evidence from the sources to back up their writing, and the explanation of how the evidence supports that claim. So to accommodate students that need assistance would be to provide the printed material with keywords already pre-highlighted and a definition of those words in the margin, such as the word beeves. Most people will know that when he's talking about beeves within the walls, he's talking about heads of cattle. So maybe highlighting that and defining what that word means to make it a little bit simpler and easy to follow, considering the language is different from that era to our era now. Author sentence steps, such as the author wants to, one paragraph shows persuasion is, so that sentence stems can help them move along and get the students in the right direction to where they need to go to for their critical thinking. Maybe have the students listen to it audibly. Maybe somebody reading it out loud, or an audio, a video, or something where they can follow along while the document is being read to them. Put them in small groups and have them analyze and read the sources together in a small group. Talk about it, maybe share ideas, and get this whole small group to think critically and help each other to get to the end state. And then would be a graphic organizer with the columns for the students to be able to put in the source, the author, the audience, the words, and the evidence that can help them visually put everything together for their writing activity. And that concludes my presentation.